Welcome to the Hollywood Happy Hour Podcast Halloween Edition. Happy Halloween, listeners. I am your host, Drew, and joined with me is my co-host, Anthony. And this
Hi.
is episode 6 of the podcast. We finally have reached the end of October. Thank God for me. It's
Hey,
over.
no. I don't want to hear it. I know you've had, even though you've hated it, you've had fun. Shut up.
Two out of the 4 you recommended me were fun. Actually,
Wait, hold
no.
on.
Okay, wait, no. I take it back. 3 of the 4.
All right, that's we last week's movie was Halloween, and we have not talked about it whatsoever.
Yeah,
so
I just
have
told him I
no
was
idea
watching
where his
it.
head's at.
Yeah.
What's that?
I just said that I told you I watched it.
Yeah. So usually, what's happened in every movie we've watched so far has had whether or not he liked it or not, and then we don't talk about the details of it until the show. But this time, I knew he was watching the movie, and that's it. He didn't tell me when it was done. He didn't tell me if he liked it or not, or if he hated it. I know nothing about it. So this is going to be my first time hearing his actual opinion on the movie, which is going to be interesting.
But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about some movies I saw recently that were not Halloween related.
My buddy Drew had to play catch up this week.
I did. I got my car back and I watched like 5 or 6 movies in the past week. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I went to the movie theater 3 days in a row, I think. Yeah. And then, so to start, before last week's episode, actually, I just forgot to talk about it. I watched The Wild Robot. And oh my god, I literally think that reached the top 10 favorite movies of all time for me. I absolutely love that film. I've already watched it like 3 or 4 times because it came to digital. Like the day after I saw it in theaters, it came to digital, and I immediately bought it. It is so good. DreamWorks absolutely crushed it. I want to go into more details about it, maybe for another time, but I want to keep it to real short and sweet with these movies, so I want to talk more about Halloween stuff. But I literally think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. And so I gave it full, like, basically a 10 out of 10, which I do not give very often.
Or ever.
Or ever, yeah. So, yeah, take that as you will. I know that's making Anthony be like, whoa. And then I watched something that I didn't like that much, which I know. Anthony, did you watch Venom: The Last Dance?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I was looking forward to us arguing about it. Oh, maybe next week.
I mean, we're not going to argue about it. I know it's not good.
Okay.
I'm not like, Venom's Venom. Like, the first one was fun. Second one was bad, but I enjoyed it, but it's bad. And I don't think the third one's going to be anything other than just bad.
Okay. Because I from what I remembered, for some reason, I thought you were like a defender of Venom.
Oh, I'm a defender of the fact that it on its base level, it's just it's a mindless good time, but the story's garbage.
I just didn't even think this one was a good time. I was just bored.
Well, I'm talking about the previous ones. Like I said, I don't know anything about this one. So
yeah, this new one, I was genuinely just bored. I was just like, okay, I guess. And then I can't talk too much details about it because I don't want to spoil it for Anthony.
Or anybody else.
Or anybody else, or any details of it. But there was just a lot of aspects. Whenever Anthony watches it, we'll put a big spoiler tag, I guess, over it. Because I definitely want to talk about it.
If I go watch it in theaters, I might not.
Really?
I didn't go this week, but I've been trying to do one movie a week. And it's going to be movies that I care the most about. I haven't had a chance to see Smile 2 yet. I want to go see that. And then I think there's one more that's on my list that I can't think of right now that I want to go see. Probably before Venom. It's Venom's gonna be one of those. If I get out of work early one night and I'm the movie starting as I'm leaving, then sure, I'll go watch it.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know. I just don't have interest.
I was really hoping that because I love Venom. I think Venom's one of the coolest Spider-Man villains there is. I love Eddie Brock as well. But I was really hoping this last one would be like really cool and like it would be like a good hurrah, like goodbye. There was just a lot of plot holes that didn't make sense, and the ending was probably the most Fast and Furious thing that Marvel has ever done in a movie. It was like so corny and cheesy that like I was like, what in the world? There was literally jokes though in the movie where you could tell like they paused for laughs by like the pacing of the scene. And like not a single soul in my packed theater laughed. And I was like, oh, like it hurt my soul. I was like, there's no way. Oh man, but
I hate when Marvel movies have a tendency to do that. They do it in Spider-Man: No Way Home, like for laughs or applause, and like even if it gets an applause in the moment, anytime you go to rewatch it, it's just
so awkward.
Cringe.
Yeah, it's so
like
awkward.
like the scene in Spider-Man: No Way Home when like all three Spider-Men show up. Like there's a slight pause, and it just drives me nuts because you're cheering, so like it makes sense the first time, but like then I have the movie and I watch it at home and I'm like, yep, there's supposed to be a clap there. Like, should I clap for
by
you?
myself? Yeah, it's like oh man,
maybe I'll download like an applause app. I don't know, just to play it, just to fill in the void. But Marvel has a tendency to do that. Like. Now, DC doesn't give a flying fuck. They're like, here we are, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, shut up and watch the movie.
Yeah, and it was just the movie was just not good. I
will say this, too, though. DC has a tendency to remove all joy from the movies.
That is true.
Don't get me wrong. I love them, but they don't care about your happiness whatsoever.
Very true. And then after Venom, I watched... I keep forgetting every time what movie... Oh, Transformers 1. Okay. Anthony, I have to apologize because when I left the movie theater, I was like, yeah, it was pretty good. Like, I didn't think super highly of it, but then I let it sit. And then I sat and thought about it. And I thought about all the scenes in the movie. I think it's been a long enough time to where we can talk about it, right?
Yeah, it came out September 25th, so we're good.
Yeah, so... I was like... It was funny... the faces threw me off for a bit. I don't know why. It did. It just did. But I got used to it. But the end scene with Megatron and Optimus, and it's like Megatron's finally like, I'm Megatron, and like he kills Sentinel, and then Optimus obviously becomes Optimus Prime. It's like I've seen that scene show up on my feed like several times now because it's on digital, and I'm like, God damn, it's so good. I'm like, that is so good.
I'm gonna be honest, I was prepared to get so mad at you right now. I thought you were about to take a whole left turn here.
No, I was like, man, that was so good. Like, rise, Optimus Prime. I'm like, yo!
Here's the thing, right? Before I get into my opinions on it, because I'm about to nerd out. I love Transformers. You had texted me that, what did you give it originally? Like, on your teacher grading
7
scale?
out of 10?
7. And like, I was like, that's so bizarre. Because, like, I'm gonna be a little honest. Like, I wasn't actually, like, frustrated, but I was like, what the fuck? I was like,
after that scale, like, I realized, okay, I'm gonna admit this. My scale originally was bad. You were right. Your brother was right. My scale originally was bad. And I apologize for that. But
it's a work in progress. It's okay. I forgive you.
Yeah. And, no, I mean, like, if I say now, I'd say like an 8 out of 10, but I gave it like a 4 stars on Letterboxd.
Which is I'd put it. I think we're pretty much the same on this one. Because I'll give you my thing. I agree with you, actually. For a minute, the faces took me out. But, like, Transformers has always been difficult with faces because they're metal robots. Like, the only thing that's ever actually nailed it down was the Michael Bay design. But the way they did their lips was almost like they were machine parts, so they weren't like a solid piece, right?
Yeah.
So like they kind of. But I feel like the only is doable in a live action style of animation because every single cartoon has a weird mouth animation for the Transformers. It's just, I think it comes with the territory.
My biggest complaint about the movie, but it's also something I like, which is really weird, is how sudden D16's change to Megatron is. It's like as soon as like they could transform, it was just like boom, immediately like he's out for death. And it was just like I would have liked a little bit of a slower build to that.
I could see what you're saying, but I feel like it's right on the edge of being not enough time and just enough time. I feel
it just I remember sitting there and like he got really mad at Optimus for being like, hey, be careful with that. Like just really randomly. Like we hadn't seen D16 act like that until that moment. And I felt like that was a huge jump. I felt like if it slowly and gradually built to like him defying Optimus or whatever his name is, Orion Pax, I felt like that it would have felt more easy. But it goes from like the no, I got this, and he gets a little mad, and then all of a sudden it jumps to him about to kill Starscream. I just felt the jumps felt a little too big until the climax, you know?
Like what? I don't know, because for me it felt...
Sorry, I really liked seeing the change in him, but I just felt like we took a little too big of jumps.
I don't like I said, I don't think it was too drastic, just because like from the very beginning he's like a loyal soldier and he's like, you know, he's the good guy. You know, Optimus was the reckless one. He was the by the book, follow the rules. And the second he found out that like everything has been a lie, he went through like almost like the stages of grief where he felt betrayed and he felt sad. Then he got angry. And the anger just grew and like he never let it go. So like everything after from then on, like when he met up with Starscream and all those guys, you know, it was everything between him then and when he met oh my god, what's his name? Sentinel?
Yeah.
Was like there were obstacles, there were things in his way. So he's like, I need you all to get out of my way. So like when he attacked Starscream, that made sense to me because right now we're just wasting his time. That's kind of how I felt about it.
Yeah.
I
will say, I don't know much about Transformers lore whatsoever, so I don't.
I'm about to get into it.
Was Sentinel always like the bad guy?
No.
Okay, because in Dark of the Moon, Sentinel turns out to be working for the Decepticons, and then as soon as I heard the name Sentinel, I was like, oh, okay, this guy's the bad guy. But then I also was like, this movie's low-key like robots, because it was this guy who's saying he's holding up this perfect society, but really he's evil dude who was manipulating all the robots. And I mean, I was like, it's literally the plot of Robots.
Yeah, he's always had like a complicated thing. Like he's never been just like the perfect good guy. So I guess he doesn't really have much story to him, like in terms of like in the cartoons or things like that. But obviously he was in the movie. He did this. He was in
Dark of the Moon.
Was it Cybertron that he was in? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. But it was all like, I mean, this is a prequel to Generation 1, which is the 80s Transformers. And
I just kind of knew what was happening with the twist right away, but I mean, it didn't take long for the twist to happen, so...
What, the twist of Megatron turning?
No, I mean, we knew Megatron was going to turn, but, like, from the beginning, because it's Megatron. The twist of Sentinel Prime being the bad guy, like...
Oh, I don't really think that was much of a twist, because we all kind of knew. Like, I don't think they intended that to be, like, a big reveal, as much it was, like, you know, it's part of the story, just wait for it to happen, type thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, because that one, even when I saw when the movie started, I was like, okay, so he's the bad guy, cool, got it.
Yeah.
It just made, because, well, I mean, the second he said, you know, I'm gonna go back to the surface and, you know, do whatever I'm doing, while you guys stay down here, keep on keeping on. Like, okay, yeah, so that's the bad one. Go get him right now. Like, go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but the amount of Easter eggs that just made me like lose my shit in the seat, like. So my favorite of the Transformers are the Seekers, which is Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. Thundercracker being my favorite.
Right.
Is the scene where Megatron meets with Starscream, because like in all of Transformers history, Starscream has always been second in command and always wanted to be in charge of the Decepticons. The scene where they show that he was in charge of what is now the Decepticons was amazing. And then on top of that, the scene where Megatron attacks him and he crushes Starscream's throat, he gives him the same voice that he has in the 80s show. So like now that is changed for me, anytime I watch the original show or the original movie from '86, I'm like, oh my god, I know why that's there because Megatron crushed his throat, and like that's something that's so interesting. Like I nerded out so hard there. I was like, there he is. There's Starscream. Okay, that's cool because I hated his voice. It was Steve Buscemi. I was like, I hate this. This isn't Starscream. And then they fixed it like immediately. So all that was cool. Him developing the arm cannon, dude. I was like a child. Like inner child was coming out. Like every time a reference happened, I was de-aging. By the time I ended in the theater, I was like my 12-year-old self just like geeking out in the theater.
Sadly, I didn't grow up with the cartoons that much. I just grew up with the Michael Bay films.
Yeah, which is a travesty, but that's okay.
Yeah.
In the original '80s show, Megatron turns into a handgun, and it was absolutely amazing. So, like, the tank is relatively newer, I should say.
Oh, what someone brought up in a cool little post I saw was like, so all like the crew, you know, like of the good guys who were going to get the whatever it was, everyone except Megatron were vehicles, just like normal cars, like peace, but then Megatron was the vehicle meant for war and destruction and death.
Yeah, the tank, yeah.
And I was like, that's a cool little like parallel they threw in there.
Yeah.
But anyways, we gotta move on. Transformers 1, I give it like a 4 out of 5 stars. Great movie.
Same. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
A great movie. A little bit of nitpicks I have, but I would watch it again 100%. Moving on. These next two I'm going to make real quick. I watched Piece by Piece, the new Lego movie, like with Pharrell Williams. That one was interesting. I don't even know what to call it. It was like a documentary / narrative. It was really weird.
Oh yeah, I know what it is. I have no interest in it whatsoever.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I didn't think it was like anything crazy. I don't remember what I gave it stars-wise, but it was good. I had a good time. Would I watch it again? No. What's it called? Okay, then I also watched We Live in Time. That movie didn't make me as sad as I thought it would, but it definitely was sad. But it was good. That movie just made me depressed afterwards because I was like, man, like, like you sit and you watch a movie about a couple having a perfect life. You're a single dude. You're like, oh, well, that's just depressing.
Yeah.
So that was a good movie. Sad but good, and I don't really have much comments on it. It was just kind of there, I guess. I was expecting more out of it, sadly, than I got. And then, anyways, that's all for like the other movies I saw besides our weekly feature. You watch anything new, Anthony, or no?
No, I caught up on TV. I didn't watch any movies this week.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Halloween, I did watch Halloween.
I watched a crap ton of movies. It was crazy. I was like, every day, I'm like, oh, I'm watching this, I'm watching this, I'm watching this. I was busy with movies.
Yeah, I was gonna rewatch Unbreakable, which I started, got 5 minutes in, then got interrupted and was doing that.
Unbreakable.
But I haven't really. What's that?
Unbreakable. Which one is that one again?
It's M. Night Shyamalan with Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson. It's the one that came out before Glass.
Oh,
not Glass.
I never watched it.
Split. Unbreakable is a phenomenal film.
Never watched it. I don't really think I've watched any M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Yeah, that kind of tracks. Just based on the previous conversation we had, before we started recording.
Wait, is Doctor Sleep M. Night Shyamalan?
No.
Okay, I was just looking up, and it was like, you might like this, and it said, like, Doctor Sleep on here, on my phone, so. Just curious. Yeah. So. Halloween. So.
Halloween.
I'll say this. It was good. It was good. I will say this, though. I enjoyed the first half much more than I enjoyed the second half.
The part where he's killing everybody?
I was just like, I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed, I guess, by the end. I don't know. I thought it was cool, but like I liked the eeriness of the first half way more than I liked the action of the end. because like seeing Michael Myers stalking them in the car and seeing him like stare down the street for like a minute as she walks off is like really cool to me. I thought that was a really great scene. Or then like I messaged you about like the classroom where they're like talking about fate and Michael Myers is standing outside the window. I thought that was a really cool scene. And then in the end, I was just kind of like, okay, this is basic slasher.
Well, yeah,
it's like the slasher, and I get that. It's, I don't know. I guess I was just hoping for more. I don't know.
See, it's hard. It's interesting to hear you say you're hoping for more when, this is what started slashers. So like this, anything else that came after this
it felt in my mind a slasher. It felt like the basic, like the standard. I know, and it's like to me, it's like
this was the standard. This is what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't for me. I thought it was
good.
How you go
from I liked it to it wasn't for me?
I don't know, because I'm getting roasted over here, and I was like, I don't know.
No, because I'm more like commenting on the fact that you keep saying that it's like, you wanted more, but like anything else that came after this was the more that you wanted, because like this was it. This was the start to it. So like this was your very baseline slasher. It perfected the formula. Like it gave you everything you wanted. So for you like the beginning, like stalker creepy vibe, and then it gave you your traditional slasher with what we know them to be today, right? And then, anything that came after that, well, then they started to take that formula and spice it up. And then you get movies like Friday the 13th, or you get movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, which I love. Nightmare on Elm Street. That might be next year's movie.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I liked it, but I was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's basic. I mean, wasn't anything like astonishing to me.
That's kind of why I did want to, if we had time, I wanted you to watch the 2007 version, because I think that one gives you the more that you're asking for, like right now.
It's possible.
Because like, so in this movie, this is actually only part 1 to that night.
Yeah, I knew that.
So Halloween 1 and 2 are the same night, and they're intended to be that, just like the same story. It's a part 1 and a part 2 story, because the second part takes place in the hospital that same night after Laurie was brought there. And oddly enough, I go back and forth. I think I like 2 more than 1, and that's close because I love 1 a lot. But I love 2. It's set in the hospital. It's a little bit more. I think to me a little bit more of a scare factor, because there's something to me scarier about being alone in the hospital, especially when you're so immobile. Because she has like a boot on because she broke her leg and she's like drugged up. So like he's just killing the night crew at the hospital basically, and it's, I don't know. There's something to me a little bit more creepy about the second movie. Michael, that's also the movie where they established that Laurie Strode is his sister.
Oh, spoilers.
Were you ever going to watch Halloween 2?
I don't know. Maybe next year.
It doesn't actually matter, because the 2018 Halloween movie retconned that, and they even mentioned it in the movie, because they're like, isn't Laurie Strode her sister or something? Or sorry, his sister or something? And the person's like, no, that's just a myth that people started, because they wanted to like go away from that storyline of Michael. Did you just say spoilers? The movie's over 40 years old. that just hit. I was like feeling bad, and I was like, wait a second.
Oh man, that's funny.
But yeah, no, I see what you're saying when it comes to like, it is very baseline. Like I said, it's the foundation for what horrors and slashers are today. Right.
It's just like I said, every single movie this month, besides maybe 1408 I actually enjoyed. It's just not my thing. Right?
Which is bad.
It's like with you with anime. It's just not your thing. And it's really hard to find a movie, if it's not your thing, that you're really going to enjoy. And
yeah,
I liked the first half of Halloween a lot. But the second half, I just was like, okay, I don't know. It was cool, I guess. It just...
I think it's really interesting, because you're very consistent. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, you're very consistent in the... Because we were talking about earlier, before we started recording, is you like the thriller side of things, which is very much what like the beginning part of Halloween is. but like the second it turns into like a horror film, you start to like slowly check out.
Yeah.
So it's like your brain does that switch, which I think is very interesting. So like the part of the movie that's not a horror film, but more of like a psychological thriller type situation, I guess, where he's just like stalking and there's like that ambiance and just that like that looming fear that someone is watching you. Like you liked that more, but then once he's like, okay, it's nighttime, time for these bitches to die, and he starts killing them all. That's where you start to like check out.
Yeah. No, pretty much. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
But that being said,
yeah.
what would you rate it? I'll give you my rating first. I'll give you mine, and then give you a second to think about it. I give this one. I do give Halloween. It's tough, but I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I think I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5.
It's not the worst. It's not the worst.
I think it's just right in the middle of the line. Let me look. I put reviews on for all of the movies on Letterboxd, and I'll tell you guys all the ratings I put on there. So Thanksgiving I gave 1.5 stars. Then Sleepy Hollow I gave 2.5. Evil Dead Rise I gave 0.5 star because that was the lowest I could go. And then Halloween I'm giving 2.5 stars.
What'd you give 1408?
3 stars.
I dig it.
Yeah, I like leaving Halloween. I feel the same as I did with Sleepy Hollow. Like, it was good. It just wasn't for me. Like, I can admit and I can see why people really enjoy the film. It just wasn't for me. You know?
That's fair. That's fair.
Like,
I can give it that.
I'm glad I have that checked off the list and saying I've seen it. But it's like, yeah, would I watch it again by myself? Or, like, make it a yearly thing? Probably not. If I was at someone's house on Halloween and they're like, let's watch Halloween, I'm like, I'll be like, sure, why not?
Let me ask you this, though. Are you at least on some level interested in continuing the story?
Not really.
Like, you don't want to see, you're not interested in seeing Halloween 2? Or are you somewhat interested in seeing the 2007 remake?
I'd probably be more interested in watching the remake than I would the second one.
I can work with that.
I don't know. It was just like a lot of these slasher movies are very formulaic, especially ones that are in big franchises like Halloween. And so it's like you can kind of predict how each one's gonna end until it's the last one.
See, that's exactly why I want to do 2007, because it tweaks it ever so slightly. Does it tweak it? I think, especially based on what you're telling me with the first one. I know we already brushed on it last week, but you know, with it dealing with more of him in the hospital beforehand and watching the Michael Myers kid start to vanish slowly into like that dark oblivion and become the serial killer Michael Myers. Like, because you see his fall into like darkness.
Yeah, see, that'd be interesting to me.
And then he breaks out, and then he, you know, does the first half of this movie where he's like stalking everybody, and does it in a little bit of a creepier way too, because it's the guy that plays him in this one. His name is Tyler Mane, which you would know. He played Sabretooth in X-Men and Deadpool and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, this dude's a tall motherfucker. Like, he is tall. So the mask is creepier. Like, dude, he's creepy. So, and then he's also more menacing. So the kills that they do in the movie are a little bit on the scarier side, I will say. Still very much the slasher. It's just a slasher. He's Michael Myers. You can't do much more than that. But
I will say, one thing that confused me in the movie, I was just like, they really just showed this kid killing his mom and gave no explanation to it whatsoever. And then also, or his sister, I don't know what it was. They didn't, and I remember just sitting there and I'm like, this looks like he's not even killing her. I didn't realize he killed her until he left and there was blood on the knife. And then
you didn't notice that he was just stabbing her repeatedly?
Well, the way she was acting was so bad. It was like, oh. Like,
I think the word you mean is she was acting so 70s because
yeah, it was just like it did not. It was like you definitely are an unknown actress from the 70s because your acting was horrible in that scene. Because it was just like, I don't know what's happening to you. He just walked in on his sister butt naked and just started stabbing her. But I was genuinely confused if like he was stabbing her or not because she was like, "Oh, Michael, stop it!" And I'm like, "What? Like, what's happening?"
You say like, Michael, please continue.
I don't know. The way she said it was just really weird. I don't know.
Here, okay. So
I'm gonna say right here. I'm gonna say right here though. I'm gonna say right here. It's gonna make me mad. I'm gonna make you mad. I think the cold opening. Actually, never mind. I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say it because I'm just gonna make you so mad. Ooh, I'm not gonna say it.
Well, now you have to.
I liked the cold opening of Halloween Ends more than this one because Halloween Ends had a much more shock factor of watching a kid literally fall from 2 stories and snap his neck.
That might be the most ridiculous thing you've ever said.
Look, man, I thought that one was crazy. I remember sitting in the theater like, oh, like freaking out. And I just remember sitting there watching Halloween the other day and I'm like, oh, did he kill her? I don't know. Like, I didn't know. I was just really confused on what was happening. Dead silence. Wow.
I don't even know what to say to
Look, man,
that.
it was that first scene was confusing.
Confusing how? He stabbed her a million times.
It was like you couldn't even see it though, and she just fell on the ground, and it was like, "Oh, Michael, stop it!" Like didn't even say it like she was dying. She was like playfully saying it.
2 things. One, the Halloween budget when that movie came out was like $10. Okay, the movie had like no budget, which is why they were able to get around using the William Shatner mask for Michael Myers. Which is also why it changed in the second movie because they're like, wait a second, this movie did well, and they're using a mask, and we didn't get paid, so they had to change it in the second movie. But yeah, so the budget was like nothing. It was a very tiny, small film, but like he stabbed her over and over and over and over again, and then walked out, and then like minutes later, they're like, yeah, he killed his sister 15 years ago. Okay, he's dead. She's dead, I mean. But, hold on.
Obviously, but like as soon as he walks outside and you see the blood on the knife, I'm like, oh, wait, he actually killed her. It was just like, I don't know, it was just weird. That whole scene felt so weird. I don't know.
And you said something that might have just started, like, a war. If we had more followers, I think there'd be, like, a witch trial for you.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It just... Anyways, did I say that whole thing about Halloween Ends just to piss you off and actually don't mean it? Yes. Once again,
I don't believe you.
No, I genuinely was trolling you there. Because
I do not believe you in the slightest.
Halloween Ends was probably like one of the worst movies I've ever seen though in my life.
It was so bad. And the fact that it has the balls to like be part of this movie, because technically Halloween Ends is the 4th movie, this being the 1st.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, the fact that was the end to the story you just saw.
No, that was awful. It was awful.
Which is funny because Halloween 2018 was actually really good. The one that was exactly 40 years later, that one was phenomenal. It was like, okay, all right, but it needed to be a one and done. The fact that they came out with Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, bro, I wanted to jump off a balcony.
What did you think of Halloween Ends when they were first like teasing it, like doing trailers and things like that? Were you worried?
Yes. So not because of the trailers though, because the trailers they never show, especially for horror movies, they don't really show much. And you know, there's not much to expect from like because they're not going to give away the actual story and the ending. You know, Michael's in the movie. You know, Laurie's in the movie, and you know people die and it's Halloween night. Okay, cool. When Halloween 2018 came out, I was so excited. Me and my brother saw it together. It was a great movie. Then they announced Halloween Kills, and I was skeptical because I was like, I think they should have just been done, because at the end of Halloween 2018, Michael's burning in a house, and he's just staring up from the basement as the house burns around him, and it's a really cool shot. And then, you know, it's like an open-ended, like, did he burn in the house? Did he escape? We don't really know. And then the end credits, you hear the breathing, and you're like, oh, god damn it. So Halloween Kills comes out. I was skeptical but optimistic. I go to see it, and I was like, this is very mid. I don't care for this too much. So when Halloween Ends came out, I didn't even go see it in theaters. I wasn't gonna go see it in theaters. And I'm telling you right now, that is the best fucking decision I've ever made in my life. Because I know for a fact, if I saw that movie in theaters, that movie theater would not be standing to this day because I would have burnt it to the ground. I would have I watched it at home because it was streaming on Peacock same day. Like, so it was in theaters and Peacock same day. So I got home, I sat down, and I got a Halloween pizza, and I sat there, and I watched it. I was like, all right, let's give it a go. And then at the end, oh my god, at the end, when they slit his wrists,
oh my god,
it a day,
yes, that was so funny.
She's like, haha, I got you. I'm gonna best you. Cuts wrists. And then guess what? I'm gonna parade you through town, strapped to the top of my car, and then take you to like a fucking meat grinder thing, and then just like call it a day. Like, aha, Michael's gone. Oh, by the way, here's a British protege for some reason. Like, bro, what?
No, that movie made no sense.
I hated everything about it. Tell me, okay, no, I'm gonna do the Halloween rant now. This is a Halloween episode. I deserve a Halloween rant.
You do.
Tell me how in Halloween 2000. Okay, in Halloween, they establish Halloween 2. Sorry, they established in Halloween 2. You good?
I'm laughing because you just went the mic like almost peaked and you go, tell me why. I was just started laughing so hard.
Okay. In Halloween 2, they established that Michael is he's more than human. He's evil incarnate basically, right? So when 2018 comes around, they retcon all of that because they want to make him just a basic man. So in 2018, they find out that Michael survived the first movie, but he was severely injured. He got up, walked away, but severely injured. They captured him, brought him back to the mental hospital. Okay, cool. Great. So in 2018, they established that he's just a man. 40 years go by, he breaks out, whatever. He starts doing all the things he's doing. That's why at the end of that movie, when he's in the house that's burning down, you're like, oh, this is actually the end to Michael. And Laurie actually trapped him in that house. Like, she booby-trapped the crap out of her house. It made sense. She's been, like, psychotic for 40 years. She's been preparing for this moment. It was a good ending. It was perfect. And then in Halloween Kills, he gets the whole he kills a bunch of people. He kills the whole town. A bunch of firemen. The dude turns into, like, Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. Like, actually, like, picking these people up, throwing them around, just doing all these insane moves because reasons. And then they're like, oh, he's just a man. And then the entire town at the end of the movie beats the ever-living crap out of him, stabs him, shoots him. But then there's like a voiceover, and they're like, no, just kidding. He's not a man. He's more than that. He's evil incarnate. And then he stands up, and then he kills everybody. But then Halloween Ends is like, just kidding. For the last couple years, he's been secretly dying in a sewer, because reasons. And he needs help. And like, so then, like, a British guy, or this, I think he's British, I don't know, this stupid kid finds him, and then Michael's about to kill him, but then he sees himself in his eyes, because reasons, and then it's like, just kidding, you're gonna help me, because I'm an old, decrepit man who needs help. But then, this kid ends up dying, and Michael's like, just kidding, I can do it by myself. Just kidding, I'm gonna get my throat slit, my wrist slit, and then die. And I'm like, what the fuck was this? What was any of this? Oh my god, I hate those movies. I hate them so much, Drew. I hate them.
I can tell.
How are you gonna do this?
Ooh. See. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's a franchise or certain movies I hate as much as you hate these. And I don't know if there is movies that I hate as much as that. Because that's brutal. That's insane.
I hate it because
I also had a feeling you hated it that much. That's why I was teasing you about the movie just a little bit ago.
I hated it because there was like the original story that happened because there were so many movies. Halloween 1, 2, we skipped 3 because it's not Michael Myers. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then, like there's H2O and all those, right?
Right.
And they were dumb. But they never intended to be anything other than just a stupid movie. But they had like a story still with it, like that connected them. And they dove deep into Michael's like what he was, the evil incarnate thing. It was bad. But it was cheesy 80s and 90s bad, right? These movies tried to took the fun, they kept all the bad and took all the fun out. So now you're left with this steaming pile of dog shit, and that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what those movies were. And I hated Halloween Ends so much that I wish they didn't even make any of the new ones. Even though I loved the first remake they did so much, I hated it so much that I wish they didn't do any of them. I hate all of them because of that last one. You did this.
Makes sense.
You did this. I'm unhinged now because of you.
You're on full
Happy
tilt.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween, baby. Oh man. Hey, now you just unleashed all the anger I had this past month watching those movies.
Yeah, well, unless you intend this to be the only year we do a podcast, get ready for next year's.
Oh god. Oh boy.
I'm excited. Well, that being said, since you just, mentioned that this month is over and Halloween spooky season time is now sadly officially past,
God bless
it is
America.
time to bring on the festivities with fall and Thanksgiving and Christmas time shortly approaching afterwards.
Hey man, I just can't wait for the Spider-Man Thanksgiving episode. Also, another point I didn't bring up, the Thanksgiving Day parade's in the movie as well. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not only just the dinner.
Hey.
Not only just the dinner.
Poll?
The parade.
Remember the poll you did?
Yeah. It
How'd
was
that go?
It was 50-50.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
Did
it
you vote?
was. Yes,
you
you voted too.
Yeah, so it was just the two of us?
No, there was 6 votes total.
I need to talk to those other people.
Let me see if I can find that story real quick.
It was 50-50? I'm more annoyed about that right now.
Archive. Yeah, it was 50-50.
Was it? Or wasn't it just a parade?
Huh? No, it was the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Because I remember the parade. I thought that was something that Oscorp was throwing, though.
No, it was a Thanksgiving Day parade.
Are you positive?
Yes, they have the Macy's logo and everything in it.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Yes, it does. The Thanksgiving Day parade's in a whole different scene. The Thanksgiving dinner, it's a whole Thanksgiving movie.
Hold on. Because I could have swore that was a Oscorp throne parade.
Oh, what? Why would Oscorp just throw a random parade?
Because it's Oscorp. Oh, this is going to be hard to find. Alright, I guess you have to watch the movie.
Let me see here.
Planning on watching it because we're watching Die Hard for Christmas.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I look up Spider-Man like Thanksgiving Day parade.
And you got all the balloon floats?
Yeah, I got all the balloon floats,
Yeah.
and then I keep seeing the one of Spider-Man sniffing Uncle Sam's butt.
Okay. Better than Uncle Ben.
Oh God.
It's funny because he's dead.
You just had to remind us, didn't you?
The Uncle Ben. I mean, it's not like Spider-Man doesn't remind you for 5 seconds that he's dead.
Yes.
Like, honestly, Across the Spider-Verse had the best moment with that, where he's like in therapy and he's like just talking about how like he lost somebody, and then the Spider-Man therapist was like, "Let me guess, he died." And I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
that's funny."
yeah, yeah. But anyways, yeah. Thanksgiving / fall movies / or just sometimes we may just have normal movies in general. I mean, like, December we're definitely gonna be doing all Christmas. This November probably we'll have a mix of like fall and like normal movies. Unless Anthony's got all fall movies planned.
Fall and like just more wintry style movies. Yeah, they're not gonna all be holiday necessarily, but like the first one is not gonna be a holiday themed movie, but something that kind of just fits the vibe of it.
Yeah, and then definitely, I would say December we need to do like all like holiday movies or like Christmas movie type deals.
Yeah. We'll have to figure that out too, because I'll be in Florida for part of it, but I'll bring my equipment, like my mic and my laptop and everything, and we can do a holiday episode there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, shoot, we'll have to. I mean, December would actually be the time when we start doing in-person podcasts.
Yeah, but like I said, I'll be in Florida, so that
yeah.
Probably
shoot, so we'll make it a New Year thing. When we'll start doing in-person podcast.
Maybe, yeah, I'll figure it out. Honestly, yeah. I might see if because I will be with my best bud, so he might. He is the other me, basically.
Oh yeah, we should have him guest star.
He's the Star Wars guy. I mean, I'm a bigger Star Wars guy, but he's a Star Wars guy. I can't be bested, so I'm gonna keep that.
Yeah. We should have him come on the pod.
Yeah. You know who else wants to come on the pod one day?
Your brother?
No. Well, yes, he does, but no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Who?
No, Garrett from the bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd be so down for that.
No. So here's the thing. I gave him the biggest face ever because like he came into the office. For those of you guys who are confused, don't worry. You're gonna stay confused for a second. No, so he came into the ops office at the theater, and he told me that he met you and that, you know, all the things. And I was like, yeah.
So
I'll
give a little background. So I went to go see I don't remember what movie it was. It was Transformers. I was seeing Transformers. And I went to the bar before the movie to get a drink. I met one of the bartenders there, Jarrett. And
I trained him.
He trained him. And we were just talking about movies and stuff, and then I ended up talking about my job, and we vibed really well. I talked about my job, and then he was like, I was like, oh yeah, I teach at like this school in this school district. And he was like, wait, do you know this person? And like the person he named was somebody I literally talk to every day because she's in the same department as me in my school. And it's like his close friend. And we were like, wait, what? It's like such a small, crazy world. And so like I was telling him more about like me and stuff, and I talked about the podcast I have here with Anthony. And then he was like, I'll check it out. And anyways, yeah, you can tell your part now.
And because I had told him about this, and I was like, yeah, it'd be cool if you came on one time. Because me and him have very differing opinions. Like, he thinks Prometheus is an amazing movie.
He said for me to watch Prometheus and then just tell you it's amazing no matter what I think.
Yeah, well, that's why he's getting fired next time I see him. But no, like, yeah, we have some very similar opinions, but also some very different opinions. So like me and him have some very good conversation after work in the parking lot sometimes. Sometimes we were standing there till like 2 a.m. So I had mentioned it to him like a while back, and then when he came in and told me about like you guys meeting and everything like that, I was like, yeah, I wanted you to come on. And he's like, dude, really? I was like, are you kidding me? I told you about this, acting like it was the first time I'd ever heard the podcast. I was like, bruh, all right. So,
no, I'm down.
But yes, he's interested in joining. He's like, I just have to like watch all the listen to the episodes. I was like, yeah, absolutely do that. We don't have very many. Also, we need more views. Yeah. But yeah. So he's definitely one I think would be good to have on. And he also lives here, so he could probably do some of the in-person stuff.
Yeah, we could have him guest for sure.
Yeah, and then my brother wants to stop by at some point in the future. He'll be a little bit more difficult because he doesn't have like any mic set up or anything. So cross that bridge.
I have a feeling that one would be an absolute firing squad on me that day for that episode.
It might be. It absolutely might be. He might need to be. I don't even know what his thing. He's a Marvel guy. So like that'll probably be the time frame to bring him in when we're doing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really want to bring my buddy Jordan in for May 4th.
Yes, that'd be good.
Because that's That's a me and him thing. We've done May 4th forever. Me and his friendship started because of the Star Wars, so like it's like a huge thing for us. So I absolutely think it'd be super cool to bring him on. He's super fun. He's cool. Not as cool as me, but that's okay. And then hopefully in the future, you know, who knows? Maybe get some other guests in here.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's honestly it for me. This felt like an eventful episode. We had some good conversation. We got me angry about Halloween. That's always fun when I go on rants.
I don't think you've been that angry on an episode yet.
I got close to it the other night, or the other week, I guess I should say.
With the Die Hard and Spider-Man conversation?
I wanted to murder you so bad. Like, you have no idea. There was a section of time where I was just, like, driving, I think, like, at some point the next day, and I was like, that motherfucker.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Like, what frustrated me is not that, like, at that point it wasn't even that it happened, it's that it was now living rent-free in my head, and you were there, you were in my head.
Right where I want to be. Right where I want to be.
Yeah, I was like, what if I just like hit him right now? Like, showed up and just hit him and called it a day.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get like a pair of gloves and like smack you across the face and challenge you to a duel.
Oh my god, I cannot wait for in-person episodes. You're just gonna be screaming at me, and the intensity is gonna be like 10 times more.
I'm telling you, dude. I want to get the ginormous foam hand and smack each other.
I
like
feel like that would be a safety hazard.
I don't give a flying fuck. We'll figure it out. We need to be able to hit each other. Like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But after seeing that on Jimmy Fallon, I don't think I've ever laughed harder than the ginormous hands they used to smack each other.
No, that one is funny. Oh,
but yeah,
man.
We'll have a lot more fun when we do the in-person stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll probably last longer, too.
Yeah, maybe. Well, alrighty, guys. It's been a great Halloween episode. That ends our Spooktober, or October, or whatever you want to call it.
Spooktober? Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. We knew what it was called the entire month. No big deal.
Yeah, didn't just make that up on the fly. Yeah, so, I mean, it's been interesting month for me.
All right. Everybody get ready for November Nightmares, another month of horror films.
Ain't no way, homie. Not on my podcast.
And after that, you can look forward to Silent Night, Deadly Night, Christmas-themed horror movies.
Nope. Speaking of Silent Night, we should watch a Silent Night, the, like, adult comedy film or whatever it is with, like, Seth Rogen and, like, Anthony Mackie. Have you seen that one?
Yes. Comedies with me are tricky.
Really?
I don't find them funny.
Dang. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just thought of that because you said Silent Night. But yeah.
But we'll see. We'll do all the things. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this Halloween special. Hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed the past month. I would give the past month of movies overall a 2.5 stars.
Out of what, 5?
Out of 5.
Give me 3.
Why should I give you 3?
Give me 3.
Evil Dead Rise is bringing down the average a lot. It's the outlier, but it's bringing down the average a lot.
Right, but you liked 3. You had fun with Thanksgiving. You keep denying it, but you said you were laughing.
It was funny, yeah.
You had fun with Thanksgiving. You liked Sleepy Hollow to an extent. You liked 1408, and you didn't hate Halloween. You hated Evil Dead Rise. You gotta meet me in the middle.
Best I can do is 2.75.
I hate you more than anything, but I'll take it.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. And remember, 1,000 followers on Instagram, and Anthony gets to show me Terrifier 3.
Yeah, I do.
Well, alrighty, guys. Thanks so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wait, guys, we forgot one thing. We forgot one thing. Our weekly showing. Anthony, what is the weekly showing for this week?
Christopher Nolan's The Prestige. I'm not going to explain too much about it. It's Christopher Nolan, Hugh Jackman, and Christian Bale. It's about magicians. It's a lot of fun. We'll get more into it next week. That's this week's weekly showing. The Prestige.
Okay, awesome. Well, once again, thanks guys for listening, and bye.